You're listening to Braless Watch, where a mother and daughter team offer their own opinions on watching TV through a feminist lens.
I'm Beth, the mom.
And I'm Lily, the daughter.
Welcome to Braless Watch, where TV watching gets a whole new perspective. Clothing is optional.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. It's a great time of the year.
Right? Fall is here. It's spooky outside, hopefully.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Dark and moody.
Hopefully. This week, we're going over Evil, the first season of Evil.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Definitely spookier. It's definitely spookier than The Addams Family from the last time. Yes.
And, little side note, you've seen it, and I have not.
Correct. I have seen it all the way through, all 4 seasons. It just finished in 2024. First season came out in 2019, and then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So the first season was network TV. It was on CBS. And then the next 3 seasons were on Paramount, mostly because the pandemic happened and network executives decided to change things up behind the scenes. And so they took this onto streaming rather than put it back on network TV, which I think was a good thing.
I was going to say with the content, it sounds like it would be much better. So, yeah. But then my first thought when you said that was, this show was saccharine? Question mark?
A little bit. I would say it does get a little bit creepier, but yes, I would say it gets a little creepier.
Okay. That's good for our audience to know.
So this first season is network TV. It is still spooky and
gory.
It's not even, I mean, some of it's gory, but it's got haunted elements. That's what the words came in my head, but that's not even right either. It's sort of thriller, horror.
So I wrote
drama.
It's where it explores the intersection of science and religion.
It does do that.
Because the writers were focused on that.
So the writers are Catholic, which is why this is based around.
Oh, I didn't catch that, but okay.
Yes, the writers are Catholic. That
makes sense for the saturation.
The creators, I should say, not the writers.
Yeah, the creators. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it was created by Robert and Michelle King, a married couple. They have made several different kinds of shows, including The Good Wife and its spinoff, The Good Fight, and Elsbeth, as well as Evil. Those are the big shows. There's been a few others, but those are the big ones.
It's categorized as a supernatural drama.
That it is.
That's as concise as you can get with this one. I've got a lot of other descriptive words for it.
There's a lot of words you could use for it, and each episode could be categorized a little bit differently.
True, because they explore different things. Yeah,
there is an overarching story. So yeah.
Yeah, and I will say season 1 leaves you with more questions than answers.
Oh, that's what this show does. It asks a lot of questions and answers very few of them. It leaves it up to the audience to decide what they want to believe for the show. They answer a few things here and there, but they also provide questions with those answers to let the audience make up their mind. I will say, as this is a religious show, and I put that in quotes, they don't tell you that religion is the reason behind all these things. They provide options that it's science as well, and so it's not outwardly always saying it's religion doing this,
right?
Religious aspects,
right? Yeah, it's not an answer to anything.
No.
Yeah.
But people could use that as the answer. That's what this show provides.
And have.
Yes.
Historical.
Exactly.
Context, yes.
Exactly. So if you didn't watch this show because of the religious aspect, I would say you're probably fine. But
it's pretty heavy on religion stuff.
It is, but you don't need to know it. They explain it.
Oh, yeah, you don't need to know it. Yeah, you don't need to be a Catholic to watch this show.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
So, yeah. It's set in New York City, so we're headed back to New York City.
Oops. So why are so many shows in New York?
I don't know.
I forgot this was set in New York. I'm going to be honest.
I was trying to figure it out at the beginning, and then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then I think they did say New York in there somewhere along the line.
At some point, yeah.
Yeah. But it's specifically set near Astoria and Brooklyn, those areas. And you can look on the internet for like the the churches that they actually visited and stuff like that if you're interested. But
yeah, I think you could do, just like with many shows, you could do like a tour
probably
of all the different. There's probably
locations.
People who have created those kind of filming location tours.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Y'all ready for this?
Trigger warning time.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
There's a lot, guys. So strap in and buckle yourselves in here. Okay. The show overall is full of social tropes and exploration of social tropes. So if you have any kind of sensitivity to social tropes, be mindful of that. Gender, racial, and professional discrimination. Religious, horror, supernatural, and paranormal themes. Professional, sexual, emotional, religious, and psychological manipulation and abuse.
Yep.
So those are all like overarching things, and I'll get into the more specific stuff. So gaslighting, blood, murder, and familial homicide.
Yep.
Rape, prison, interrogation, physical assault, occult concepts, unexplained phenomenon, malevolent creatures, mental distress and health, knife, machete situations, amputation, nightmares, alcohol, drinking, bullying, banging noises, chasing, sexual imagery and content, alternative substance abuse.
Yes.
Distressful sounds of humans and animals. Discussion on soul possession, child endangerment and neglect.
Yeah.
Augmented reality.
Yes.
Horror imagery. Virtual assault, as opposed to like actual reality physical assault.
Oh, gotcha.
Pregnancy and childbirth complications. Pediatric medical issues, parenting challenges, indoctrination tactics, repetitive song notes. That one got me. Exposed bodily fluids, fire, mind-altering substance use, which I think I already mentioned.
Yes, you did.
Nudity.
Yes.
Guns, stabbing, or impaling, I guess would be another word for it. School supplies as self-harm tools.
Yes.
Grief, hospital neglect, medical malpractice, neglect, and abuse.
Okay.
Yeah. I kind of went overarching with some of the words because I didn't want to get specific about the scenes.
Yeah, there was one thing I don't know if you mentioned is the loud, maybe you did mention this. It's the girls loud screaming and talking over each other.
Yeah.
I don't know if you added that.
Because
that bothers some people.
Oh, okay, yeah. So there are children that talk over themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time. That's how they talk.
It's part of the cadence of the show.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and it shows the family dynamic really well.
It does. Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. Yeah, that was the trigger warnings.
That was a lot.
Again, these are all written out, so if you need to reread them before watching the show, they're in our notes.
Yeah. Some of it's pretty disturbing. Did I mention suicide?
I don't know. Suicide is one of them.
Oh, I had it written down in another place. I guess it didn't copy over. So yeah, suicide. Sorry,
that one is very
definitely
important.
One in there.
Yes,
and it's a visual suicide.
Yes.
So
there's two of them.
Yeah, very hard to watch.
Yes.
Okay, cast. Ready for cast?
I'm ready for cast.
Dr. Kristen Bouchard is played by Katya Herbers. David Acosta is played by Mike Coulter. Ben Shakir is played by Asif Manvi. Sheryl Luria is played by Christine Lottie. Dr. Kurt Boggs is played by Kurt Fuller. Dr. Leland Townsend is played by Michael Emerson. And we wanted to go ahead and give sort of an honorable mention to the creature. George, the goat creature, and the goat creature are both played by Marty Matulis.
Yes, he goes on to play other characters. He's the physical body, I will say. They have different voices.
Yeah.
They have different voice actors.
Yeah. But he does such a wonderful job in the acting and
Yes.
the body movements and everything. So, Okay. Now what?
Now what? Now we get to talk about Evil, the actual show itself.
Yay!
So Evil, let's set the premise a little bit. So Evil, Kristen is a forensic psychologist who has been employed by the Catholic Church. She's an agnostic herself. She's employed by David, who is a priest in training. And then Ben is also on his team.
Yeah.
Ben is an atheist as well, from Muslim culture.
You called her an agnostic, and I think she's atheist. That she claims that she's an atheist.
Okay, so she's atheist in this first season. Sorry.
You see the arc change though for her.
She starts to straddle that line.
Tethering to atheism becomes a little less tight.
Yes, and you start to see that.
And you do start to see that.
I
And sense
apologize.
that. Yeah.
That is a very small thing about the next seasons, I guess. That is the least of your concerns for the next season.
Right. Yeah. And David Acosta is a seminarian, which that's a word I didn't even know. But that's what they call people that are in seminary.
Yeah,
be a priest.
That's a priest in training. Yeah,
priest in training
at seminary school.
Yeah.
And they're so backlogged that they're hiring the priests in training to do the work.
Case investigation?
Yes.
Yeah, because they're exorcisms and other phenomena.
That because they're so backlogged, because it's New York City.
Yeah.
They've got so many that they've got to get through.
Yeah.
That's why he's a part of it.
Yeah, and we don't get the backstory of how he knows Ben. They just start with one case and they just get introduced, and as far as I remember.
Yeah, he was working he was doing contractor work at a church. David liked Ben as a professional friend, and that's just how it happened.
Ben is very skeptic, even though he has a Muslim background.
Well, he's also a problem solver.
Right.
He very much wants to solve every problem he can.
Get the answers that he's looking for. Because he believes there's always an answer.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is interesting to the dichotomy of the show itself, because they leave you with more questions than you don't feel like you get anything answered by watching it.
No. You get some answers, but then it opens more doors. And you're more confused than ever. It's
right.
Great. I will say this show, that theme does continue. Some things get answered. They do go back and answer some things from season 1.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that stay open.
I think one of the things I found with this show that's important to point out is the plot. You get answers with the plot for the most part, although some of it is still left to be answered. I'm going to assume by the finale of season 4 that we have most of the answers in the plot.
In the
answered.
Plot? Yes.
Yes.
Some
now,
of the
there's the other part of it.
Subplots? No.
So I think the other side of it is it leaves you with philosophical and existential questions to ask in sort of a thought experiment, especially about the human existence and how we get through that in a lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have more on that, but that's basically like an overview of how you might feel by watching this show.
Right. Right now we're just doing the overview because there's a lot to this show.
Yeah.
And this first season, even though it is only 13 episodes, a lot happens.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So much happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got the 3 main characters.
Yes.
They're an investigative team on behalf of the Catholic Church that seek out or investigate paranormal or supernatural
They
phenomena.
do assessments for miracles, for anything.
Right.
They even do a prophet in this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any assessment that the Catholic Church is needing, something assessed.
And some of it is picked up because of chatter and like newscasts and things like that.
Yes.
And other things are picked up because the actual parish, people who come
Have asked for it.
Have asked for it. They've requested it from the church because they're not getting answers specifically from the medical system.
Or
for the most part.
Or just help from the police. I mean, this happened with the lady who is the assistant of the Broadway director.
Yeah.
She comes to the church, so she's asking for help for her boss.
Yeah.
So that stuff happens too. Moving a little bit to Kristen's family, because Kristen is sort of like the main character. If you had to put them in a hierarchy, she's almost like the main character because we see most of her time at home.
Yeah, her family is quite involved in the storyline.
Yes. Yes, they are. So she has a mother, Sheryl. I think Sheryl lived with her for a while. I think she lived in that back office.
Something like that. We don't get the full story of what's going on there.
No.
She does a lot of babysitting, though, for the kiddos.
Sheryl does do a lot of babysitting. So Kristen has 4 daughters. Yes.
I identified them in my notes as the daughters.
Well, they do all have their own names, and they do have their all own personalities, and they slowly start to get all of that fleshed out over the series.
Yeah, I thought it was really cute. On one of the beds, you can see a heart etched, and it says the 4 L's. Because all of their names starts with L.
It is. So it's Lynn, Lila, Lexus, Laura.
Yeah.
And that's in age order.
Yeah. But they all sleep in one room on bunk beds. Yeah. Yes. And they all chatter over each other and come in like a flood with the 4 of them just talking over each other.
Yes.
So, yeah. It's interesting how they have that dynamic, and someone must have experienced that. I don't come from a big family, so I have no idea if that's something that siblings do.
So I looked up this before because I was like, why do they talk over each other? What is the purpose of that? When I first watched this. And people who come from big families say, oh, yeah, we did that. We do that all the time. We still do that.
Interesting. Okay.
So they just talk to get the information out, and then whoever hears it can relay it to the person it needs to get to eventually.
So it's not the purpose of being listened to. It's just the purpose of verbally processing.
Part of it is.
Interesting.
Part of it is they are talking to one another, and then there's another conversation with the other, and so it sounds like they're all yelling at each other when in reality 2 are talking to each other and the other 2 are talking to each other.
Right. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I could not pick out exactly what they were all saying. I can't imagine trying to write dialogue for these 4 kiddos.
I would love somebody to spend time just focused on whatever they're saying and write that all out. That would be great. I didn't look up if that's a thing. Somebody's probably already done that.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
I should look that up for the next time we do this next season, because the girls do stick around.
Okay.
So if that,
well, they're kind of integral to the storyline.
They are very important, and they become even more important.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, Kristen is also married to Andy. He doesn't make his first appearance until episode 7, I believe.
I didn't realize it was that early in the season.
7 or 8, something like that.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. At first, you kind of feel like she's a single mom.
Because she is.
Basically. Yeah.
Because she is. He's off. So they started a climbing business.
Right.
And he's off dealing with that and running climbs and stuff. And she's taking care of the kids.
And in court a lot, because her initial job before she does the Catholic church job, before they poach her for it, is that she's a forensic psychologist for the court system.
Well, she got fired.
She did get fired.
Because she wouldn't lie on the stand.
Exactly.
And then told the judge that she wouldn't lie on the stand in front of him. It was great.
I did write that she has moxie.
She does.
That's the word. Moxie and tenacity, but mostly moxie.
Mm-hmm.
She stands up for her own principles, I guess would be the way to say that.
Kristen is an interesting character.
She is an interesting character.
I can't say that I love her, but she's realistic.
There's some grounding she has that's without the religion, which makes her an interesting character when there's so much religion in this particular plot line. So, yeah, she doesn't base her thought processes on that. She bases it in science. And then her therapist, Dr. Boggs,
who, let me jump in real quick. He was originally only supposed to be in the pilot.
Interesting.
And that's why, so the notes got stolen.
Yeah.
And then she was never going to go to him again. But they liked the character, so they kept him.
I mean, I'm kind of glad he stayed in, because you know, we all have to lean somewhere to keep our tethering to the reality that we live. And by having a therapist, someone who understands you and you can dump all your secrets into, I find Dr. Boggs to be an ethical professional.
I agree. My only problem with him is that once his notes were stolen, I think she probably should have just switched therapist herself and then kept him as a professional colleague.
Maybe
because it comes up multiple times.
I don't know,
that
the
his
world
office is not as secure as he wants.
No, yeah, that does come up again, unfortunately. But I will say that the supernatural find ways to sneak in anyway, despite how much security.
That's if you're taking it from a supernatural stance, yes.
Exactly. So, and maybe her affinity to him, or I don't want to say attraction because that's a weird word.
No, it's not attraction. It's more of he already knows everything that's been going down.
It's really hard to find a therapist. And this is what I was going to say. Is that I don't know the world of professional forensic psychology to know if it's really hard to find a therapist as a forensic psychologist.
Right.
I would imagine it would be.
Yeah.
To find someone who would be able to talk to about the things you've seen and heard and all of those things. Yeah, it'd be really, really hard.
And not be able to spread information about you to the rest of your colleagues.
Exactly. I can only imagine in the professional circles how hard it would be to try to find somebody that you connect with, you're going to trust, and all these things. It's really hard to find a therapist anyway, and being in a big city where you could potentially be outed as a forensic psychologist in the court system, I can only imagine how difficult it would be. And that's why she was so pissed that her notes were stolen. But I mean, he did everything he could to keep them safe. So even to the point of handwriting them rather than putting them into some sort of system.
Well, and the next time she goes to see him, she's like, stop taking notes.
Right. Yeah.
Don't take notes at all.
Which is how she established a different type of trust with him. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he was willing to not take notes.
Yeah. And still be her therapist.
Yeah.
So this is part of the dichotomy of being human, the existence of being human, where we have to weigh our own ethics versus the ethics that have been put in place for regulatory purposes.
Right.
So, yeah, that's an interesting line that you walk as a professional. So, yeah.
Anyway, so that's Kristen's home life.
Yes.
David lives next to the church.
Yeah, he lives like in the church. Like at rafters or up in the...
Yeah, he lives next to...
It's not a rectory, because rectory's to the side.
Well, so they do say it is... At some point, people say it's next to a church.
Huh. Okay.
So I think he does live next to the church.
It is a lofty kind of... Because it's up...
Yes.
Yeah, upstairs.
There's an office across the way, which is the Monsignor's office. There's a conference room next door.
I guess it would be called apartments, maybe?
Yeah. So he lives in one of those.
Yeah.
By himself.
Beautiful set.
It's gorgeous.
Yes, beautiful set.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. Whoever designed that did a really good job.
Uh-huh.
I kept marveling at all the woodwork in the behind.
They did a great job with the set design.
Yeah, they did.
And then lastly, Ben. We're not quite sure where he lives here or what his home life is. He's one of the main three, yet they didn't focus on him much.
No.
And that bothers me because I like Ben. Ben is my favorite character.
Ah, that was going to be one of my questions.
Ben is my favorite character with his sister. Karima's great.
Yeah.
She only comes up in the first couple episodes of this season. She does reappear.
Well, and apparently they collectively take care of their father, who's possibly medically infirmed in some kind of way. We don't get a lot of story there either.
No.
But from what I gather, they share in the care of him in some kind of way.
Yes.
And whether or not that means Ben lives at that place or what, we don't know.
Yeah. Not clear in
We do know
season.
He's not partnered and doesn't have any children.
Correct.
David doesn't have any children. He's
correct. He does have an ex-fiance or former fiance who has passed.
Right. We don't know the nature of that accident either, or if it was an accident.
I don't know.
Yeah. We don't know the nature of her death.
We know that at one point, in her last day, she said to follow God, and he makes a joke. She probably said that to everyone with her sister, because her sister does appear in this season as well.
Right.
Renee.
Poses a challenge for him.
Yes.
Personal challenge, for sure.
Yes.
On
We'll talk about that.
a layered personal challenge.
We'll talk about that. So to put this into now that I think we're good with the background, and
Okay.
I think now we can finally move into the feminist lens here. Finally. I know we touched a little bit on it with Kristen, because she does have moxie.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a lot of power that she uses.
Mm-hmm.
There are several times where she takes a stand. There's one point where she's listening to Leland try to break her down, and she just goes, "God, you talks too much."
Right?
Just throws him completely off guard. He was not expecting that from her.
Because he has this arrogance to him where he thinks he's trapping everyone that he talks to, because he feels like he's silver-tongued in some kind of way. And then he's pulling out this ribbon of charm and everything, and it doesn't work on everyone. So yeah, it doesn't work on her at all. It works on her mother.
It does. It was really funny. I did not remember that she cut his neck, even though that is a very important scene, and you can see the scar over the continuing episodes.
Which is kind of symbolic of how she continues to cut him down, whether it be verbally or with action or whatever. She is a force against whatever he's trying to pull. And we don't know for sure exactly what the whole plan is, because he doesn't ever reveal that. We kind of gather from the details of the show what the plan ultimately is. But for him specifically, he doesn't necessarily reveal that.
Yeah.
Because he's too busy building the web to try to trap people into...
Correct. So we didn't really talk much about Leland. Leland is the foe of the whole thing. He's the main foe, at least. So there is the 60. That's the other parts of the foe. He's a part of that 60.
Yeah, he says at one point the other 59, which implies he's part of the 60.
He's part of the 60. He tries to create havoc. That's the bare basic minimum of what he's trying to do.
He's creating his web to trap people in. Yeah.
I was just explaining because we hadn't gone over Leland at all.
Yeah.
He comes up in the first season or first episode, and you will not get rid of him. He sticks around.
That's a metaphor for the whole show, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So are we good with Kristen? You want to move on to Sheryl?
Sure.
Cheryl's interesting. I don't love her, and I don't hate her. She's an interesting character. And that's for the whole show, not just this first season.
Yeah. I'm not sure she was fully developed either.
No.
Actually. And I think that was on purpose, because when we end this season, she's fully entrenched into the charmings of...
Well, she literally says something about it's not feeding Leland information when she literally gave him copies of that document.
But you can see her process things in a cognitive dissonance way. And what Kristen doesn't know, because she doesn't hang out with her mom in a way that we see anyway. Correct. They don't go on shopping trips and hang out and do all the mom-daughter things. She
doesn't really have time. Kristen doesn't.
No, she doesn't.
She's got 4 girls, and they take priority over everything.
And their relationship, I think, already had contention before the girls even came into the picture.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, there was already some uneven ground that their relationship had been settled on. And that kind of comes up when...
And you can see it, the kind of parent Sheryl was when she's with the girls. She's a very distracted grandparent. She puts too much trust in the kiddos making good decisions for themselves. Right. And that's how they end up at the cemetery.
Right. I find that interesting because she actually verbally says family is the number one thing that's most important to me. She says it, but doesn't put any kind of backing to it.
Nope.
And I think that right there, the crux of that, right, is it's a cognitive dissonance to herself. She's saying the things that are the right things to say, but she doesn't believe in them.
No.
And this is what Kristen was talking about with complaining about being a mom to 4 girls. There's a sense of that, right? But her mom, Sheryl, is like, yeah, I don't know that I really liked being a parent. Yeesh. And then I think Kristen actually knows that now, being an adult and everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's, I don't want to say she, like, Kristen was unwanted. It's just,
well, and
the role of being a parent is very, very difficult, and it's not made for everyone.
Right. And we don't know Kristen's backstory from when she was little. We don't know
her dad. We don't know, or her bio donor, whatever you call it.
Well, we do, when Sheryl and Kristen are talking about Leland, Sheryl does say, your dad and I are never getting back together.
Which I thought was a low blow, actually, to talking to your adult daughter that already has 4 children of her own. Like, how dare you bring that up? I'm not a 14-year-old begging for my parents to get back together. I'm a 44-year-old or whatever how old she is. That's not a request I even have.
Right.
It was ridiculous.
But it does imply that Kristen's dad is alive and they know where he is.
It does. But Kristen and her dad doesn't, we don't see any kind of relationship there.
Not in this first season, no.
Yeah. I find that interesting that it was omitted.
Yeah.
Not sure what
because
sense of that to the plot line there is, but maybe it was an unimportant plot omission. I don't know.
I'm gonna just leave it open.
Yeah.
So those are the main female characters. There are other ones.
There's the female detective.
There's Amira, the female detective.
Yeah. Mira Bird.
There's Renee. She comes up in 2 episodes. And then you also have the clients. So there are females, even though it doesn't seem like it with the amount of men in the cast.
Yeah, no, there are, well...
And there is one more character we are missing that doesn't appear in this first season. She appears in the next 3 seasons.
Right.
She's a nun, and she's awesome. That's as much as I will say about her.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't watch the second season.
No, because we're only talking about the first season.
I will say that the women that are clients leans into the very, very overall trope of how women are treated in society worldwide, and there's a lot of that. So it makes sense to me that there would be more women clients, and even Kristen asks, why are all of these people women?
Why are all the exorcisms
and
women?
David's like, oh, are they? Like, he just never never occurred to him.
Didn't occur to him.
Yeah. So there is a comment about that. And as you watch the season, you realize why.
Yes.
And it's the same reason why women are attacked.
Well,
and
for some of the clients. Some of the other clients, take the second episode. That was just the 17-year-old, 18-year-old who collapsed on the soccer field.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. What the fuck was that autopsy? That was such a saccharine way of doing an autopsy. Well,
and you don't start on the cheek.
Why would you cut her cheek anyway? You don't.
Mutilation of a black girl? I don't know.
Right? But you don't start there. You start with a Y cut.
Right.
on the
shoulder.
chest.
Yeah, on the chest, yeah.
Shoulder to chest, down through the stomach.
I mean, I had a couple other things that happened in the show that were like, that doesn't happen in real life. What the fuck?
Right. So there are some things like that. That's very much...
you want the other 2 that I have?
Sure. That's very much network TV...
Artistic license,
and it's definitely network TV. So they didn't even take off the poor soccer girl's clothes yet to start the autopsy. They should have just left her there, and then she could have woken up, and it would have been just fine.
Right? Yeah.
That would have been the way to do it.
Yeah, I don't
know why they needed to give her the scar on the cheek.
The director of the one episode, or however many
I don't know. It was a bad decision.
Right? Yeah, that makes no sense to me.
Bad decision.
So in that vein,
yeah,
I didn't catch that one, but that's a good one to catch. In that vein,
how did you not?
It didn't occur to me then.
Go ahead.
In episode 7, it was the possessed woman in the baby's room. She had miscarried, and
Bridget.
Yes, Bridget. Yeah. So it's that episode, right? And David comes back to do spiritual counseling with the husband and just walks into the house.
Oh, yeah. He broke in.
Black dude walking into a house,
broke into the house. Yeah,
uninvited in New York.
the back door. He didn't even go in the front door.
Right? I'm like, that. No, not going to happen.
No,
in America, especially, it's not going to happen.
No,
I would like to think that you're a little bit smarter than that. Don't go into people's homes without being invited.
No.
So there's that one. And then the one that really irritated me was in episode 12 where LaRue is being, I don't know exactly what court proceeding this was.
They were trying to decide if they were going to overturn his conviction.
Yeah.
Based on the confession of another killer.
Oh my God.
Feral. Who was actually from that episode that you were just talking about.
Okay. So anyway, he does get acquitted.
Yes.
And released. And the judge gets down from her dais, comes around the bench, comes up to him and says, you know, would you like a hug or can I hug you or something along those lines. Hugs the dude.
Yep.
Convicted of murder. Just acquitted. Hugs him. And then hands him her personal Bible.
Yeah, there's a lot to that. Yeah. I'm not quite sure why they showed that.
Yeah, there's I have no reasoning for that. That would never happen in court.
No, I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to understand like what's the storyline purpose for it. Like what were they trying to say with that? That the judge was sympathetic.
Maybe she'd been swayed.
Yeah, that she had been swayed. I'm not quite sure.
Or maybe this is a comment on her relinquishing a religious artifact because evil's been transferred. I don't know. Question mark, right?
Right. I'm not quite sure what this was trying to show.
There's no symbolism here that I can figure out.
No.
Based on her station within the court system and what power she has. And then his station, which he'd just been acquitted, now he's a citizen. Mm-hmm. And she had so much empathy that she had to come and hug him. Like,
yeah, I don't know what they were trying to say.
Sickened by the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because she's an older woman. So is she a grandmotherly type now? I mean, like, how do you switch roles like that? And you're not going to be a judge for, 35 years or 40 years or whatever. Mm-hmm. And be on the bench that long. And then turn around and just circumvent all of your ethics and go down and screw the boundaries. Right. We're just going to go and hug an inmate. I'm sorry, what?
Or a previous inmate. I just remembered one female character we have not talked about at all, and that's Grace.
She's the prophet?
The prophet.
Yeah,
she appears in two episodes. Yeah. She appears in more later.
Okay.
She does reappear, I think. So, yeah.
I think they did good with the actress. She's very, she has a very calm demeanor.
Yes.
Yeah. And then delivers whatever message without any kind of emotional tone.
And she also doesn't take any judgment as criticism to her. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a very stoic character.
Yeah.
I really like Grace as a character point.
Yeah.
So the other two characters we haven't really talked about was Renee and Mira.
I find Mira interesting because she adheres so much to the law.
Yes.
But then she adheres to so much to the law that she supersedes her knowledge. It's the same thing. Supersedes her knowledge of Kristen to deliver the news that Kristen has been come up on assault charges without even asking.
It's not assault charges. It's an assault complaint, which is like the step before assault charges.
But she hangs up on her without even asking or even coming by to discuss.
Well, so that was after, if I remember correct, that was after Kristen exposed her for the book.
Oh, that'd be why. Okay, I missed that.
So she's pissed.
Tie the two together. Gotcha.
She's pissed at Kristen, but she also wants to protect her.
Well, she has to adhere to the law because that's her job.
That's part of it.
And that's why she called it a courtesy call. Okay.
Well, so that's not the when she came by the house, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that the call she had was that she said, actually, this is a courtesy call.
That was when LaRue died.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
That was to say LaRue is dead.
Yeah.
And that is it.
So I guess their friendship's over. if they even had a friendship. I'm not even sure they had a friendship. More like a colleague, acquaintance kind of thing.
She was an old climbing buddy, so they had some kind of friendship. But I think Kristen took a different path of having kids and, still sort of being part of the climbing world. And Mira.
Well, and I could see how they would split anyway, because Mira adheres to law.
Right.
Which is not ethical sometimes. And
correct.
Kristen adheres to ethics, which is different.
Yes, she does.
Yeah. So they differ on that belief system there. Mm-hmm. And it shows up when Kristen exposes her for the book situation.
I will say this is not the last you will see of Mira.
Okay.
So if you liked her character, you'll see her again.
I mean, it just again speaks to the whole arc of the crux of this show is human existence and how flawed we really are, and how we kind of mistake our vulnerabilities, and we kind of overshadow them with our own thinking. Like, we have an arrogance about our vulnerabilities that are, we're superior and we can get through these things, and I don't need this protection, or I don't need these supports, and that kind of thing, right?
Right.
And social constructs actually enforce those ideals,
right? Rather
than us actually admitting that we have vulnerabilities, and we ride the line between good and evil, which comes up with the question I had about this show.
Which is what this, yeah. Okay, and the last female character I think we should talk about is Renee.
Yes.
So she is the church's lawyer, basically.
Right.
She tries to help. That's the church. That's the best thing that she does.
And she had a statement actually when she left David's apartment the first time, and she said there are more than one way to serve the church.
Right.
And he doesn't have to become a priest, was her whole point.
Well, and because
that's why she does
her
what she
sister,
does.
Yeah, her sister said help the church.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was her last decree. That was Julia's last thing that she wanted sort of everyone to do. That's what they were surmising.
So is that why Renee does it?
Yes. Is helping
from her sister's deathbed. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Does Renee come back?
Ish. I have a question for you. So Renee is an interesting character, because when she's around a bunch of other people, she's the strong lawyer. I know what I'm doing. I know what I want. But then when she's with David, it's a little different. So I have this question for you. Did David and Renee actually sleep together? Or was it all in David's head?
I mean, is there value in the answer?
I don't know. It's just a posing question. Because
But my question to you is, why is it a question? Because David...
Because it changes Renee. It changes who the Renee is as a character.
I guess.
It affects the characterization of Renee.
If we take it from Renee's perspective, from what we've seen of it, right?
Right.
If we take that as quote-unquote truth, right? Because we experienced the show, we experienced the plot, then yes, she did sleep with him, right?
Well,
but that doesn't mean that David didn't take one of his alternative substances.
It doesn't even have to be that, because think about at the very beginning of the seasons, Leland was popping in behind him.
True.
And wasn't real. He wasn't really there, but he was in David's head. And we never really see Renee be this kind of person except with David alone.
Right? But didn't they meet in a cafe? A real cafe?
They do, but do we know that he actually met anybody there?
Oh.
It's just a question. And again, this is one of those questions of, did it actually happen or not? And I'm not quite sure.
I mean,
he says it happened, but I'm not sure I believe him on many things.
Well, based on David's experiences, which, being a therapist, you just go based on what people are telling you, right? And basically, when David goes to confession, he confesses he slept with a woman. He's not being true to his seminary and...
Well, and also, it was his ex-wife's or ex-fiance's
That's what bothered
sister.
him the most, yes. That it was his ex-fiance's sister.
Well, I only mention it because I had thought of it. I had thought that David was sort of reminiscing of Julia with Renee, right? Which brought up the memories. He had a small attraction to Renee when he was with Julia originally. And then when they separated, right? He went off to seminary. And then, so he's missing sex and missing Julia. Renee appears. He creates this fantasy.
Possible.
Who knows on whether it's actually true?
Obviously, yes. But that's the thing about human existence is how do we know what actual truth means?
Right.
So, yeah, I've had these conversations.
I know. I just wanted to pose the question, and so audience, you can decide.
Right, yeah. Based on David's experience and through what we've seen through confession and stuff like that, he believes he slept with her.
He believes it happened.
Yes.
And sure, fine.
And he believes his feelings about her, and he believes his conflict of liking her or whatever, being attracted to her, and Julia, and having the past with Julia. So,
anyway, I only posed the question because it does change the characterization of Renee. Because if you take out what him and David, or her and David did, and her confession of I have a crush on you and all that kind of stuff, which granted, Mike Coulter is a gorgeous guy, but can we all stop lusting over Mike Coulter?
Why?
At least in the show.
Why?
God.
His skin is so pretty. I mean, it's possible that, yeah, she was a complete fantasy, and, you know, she doesn't have any of these sexual skill sets, right?
Well, and it would explain, like, the note and stuff.
I mean, I don't know if that fully explains the note, but it explains her reaction to the note, if she actually did come to the cafe where they met.
Well, like I said, if all of that was in his head, and
right?
she just left after the court proceedings were done, the lawyer part was done, that was it.
I mean, if you take this line of thought and you go back and watch the whole season all over again, it's going to change your whole perspective on whether or not David's experiences are actually real.
I know.
And Kristen could actually be his psychologist in an institution somewhere.
I'm aware. So I know what happens next.
Well, don't you have the the lever of future there?
So this is why I brought that one up, because he has visions, and he has.
Yeah, I don't know that it really changes my perspective on Renee, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say it does.
Based on what we've shown
for you,
about Renee, she has her own belief systems, as we all do, and how she conducts her professional business of being a lawyer and being a Black woman lawyer on top of that. And how she's fulfilling her sister's wish at the end. Yeah. So it doesn't change. No, I don't. No, it doesn't change anything for me as far as that's concerned.
Okay. Just thought I would posit that question.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Any more female characters we need to talk about?
Do we want to specify the daughters at all in their experiences?
Sure, we can talk about them. So Lynn has been parentified.
Yes. Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, she's the oldest.
They're also left quite to their own devices quite a bit. Yeah.
And Lynn takes care of them, really.
Yeah.
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 Which is why when Kristen pushes Sheryl out, basically, because of her connection with Leland, she said Lynn is going to be in charge until I can get a babysitter.
Yeah, for about an hour. So So basically what I got from that conversation, yeah.
Yeah. So Lynn has been parentified. You also see it when Laura, the youngest daughter, is going through her heart issues. Lynn knows how to read all of the things. Andy does not, because Andy hasn't been there.
Mm-hmm.
Andy knows nothing. Andy sucks as a husband. I'm going to point that out. Because he's just not there. He sucks as a husband and a father. He's not there.
Based on social construct, he's doing everything he should be doing.
No. Because he couldn't even make a decision about Laura on his own. And then he also didn't text Kristen.
Yeah, where's the texting features?
Right? Why did you... So call her first. Fair. Fine. Maybe even call her twice. But then text her. Because she's in a courtroom.
Right? That's the thing. He knew she was going to court.
Yeah,
she
and
said
then,
right before he left, or she left, I'm sorry, that she was late for court. So he knew, because he was like, I don't know where she is. Yeah, you do, dude.
And then he calls Ben and gets, he's had this whole jealousy streak of against Ben, which is annoying because Ben has been there and has helped around the house, like checking the water pipes.
And he's good with the kids.
And he's good with the kids. Yeah.
Yeah, and truthfully, he's really not the threat.
No, he's not.
He's like a big brother.
He's not, yeah. Yeah, he's definitely taking care of helping just.
He's like an uncle to the kids.
He is.
Yeah.
Ben the Magnificent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way the kids talk about him doesn't even imply that they're having any kind of relationship.
No, the kids would know if something was going on. They're not dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're aware of what's going on. Anyway, so Andy's little streak is annoying. So that's Lynn. She's been parentified. Lila, we don't know too much about her yet. She is the only redhead of the group.
Yeah.
We don't know too much about Lila by this point. She is the one that tries to stab her eardrum with the song.
Isn't Lila the one that was for the fertility clinic?
Nope, that's Lexus.
Oh, Lexus. Okay.
The third daughter.
Oh, I had them out of order. Okay.
Yes. Lexus is next. She was helped created through RSM fertility, which is Kristen was having some issues with fertility and had Lexus that way.
And we don't know the whole story on that either.
No, and that comes out at the very end, so you don't know the whole story with that. It's fun. It's a ride.
And then Laura's the one with the heart issue.
And Laura is the youngest with the heart issue.
Yeah, I think she's a cutie pie.
Yes.
The actress has got really good facial features as far as how she emotes on her face.
I will say that they do not change casts of the actresses, of the 4 actresses. They don't change casts. And they also just let them age. They don't try to keep them younger.
Well, they sure do have a synergy on set. That's for sure.
They do a really good job of doing that, talking over each other. And,
yeah.
Yep.
And touching and all of that. Yeah.
They do. There's a lot of sleeping in the same bed with Kristen. And
Yeah.
I don't, it's very cute, but I also would not be able to do that. Do not touch me.
So
like that. That's just on top of each other.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
They're in a queen.
I mean...
It's 5 people in a queen.
Again, primal stuff, right?
Right.
Humans are social creatures. And whether you like it or not, you're a freaking animal.
Yes.
And so animals like to live next to each other and stay next to each other and sleep next to each other because it forms a bond of safety.
It does.
And because Kristen doesn't have her husband, there's room. There's room to make that bond.
Right.
And she doesn't spend a lot of time with them, so nighttime sleeping seems to be one of the ways she can bond with her kiddos.
And it's not every night. I will say that. So it's when Andy first leaves, that's the one of the nights. Also, if they have nightmares, those kind of things.
And even if Kristen has nightmares, she has the girls or singled out girls, depending on the daughter that wakes up.
Right.
And have, and so she does her best with trying to build relationships with those kiddos, her own kiddos. And nighttime sleeping is one of the ways to do that. Yeah.
She is very protective of her kids.
Yes, I guess. Now, not every mom's going to be like me. So
no, you're a very different kind of mother.
I know.
She's not a helicopter mom.
She's not a helicopter mom. Yeah. But I also have CPTSD, so that informs how I parent.
Exactly.
Very much so.
She's a very different kind of
mom. From a family therapist perspective, you can see how she was parented.
Right.
The job she has and the knowledge she has, and then how she parents. The two match together in how she's parenting her 4 girls. So that makes sense to me.
She's a little distracted,
She battles whether to be a parent every day.
Haphazard, but...
And I wrote that about balancing career and managing to keep yourself, right? Yourself. And tethering to yourself and not siloing into just one identity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Humans are complicated.
Yes.
And she shows that really well. The actress does a really good job in shifting those things too through the dialogue. So yeah, it's a good portrayal of that.
Okay. Is there any other feminist perspective stuff we want to talk about for the show itself? Oh, I do have one. I answered my own question, but do you have one before we go on?
The only other thing I wanted to talk about is the LGBT representation.
Okay.
Which is not that much, actually.
Not in this season, no.
Yeah.
Again, network TV. Not surprised.
Right? Network TV. But
Network TV, CBS. So.
I'm removing thoughts right now to not say those things. Okay, so we're just Xing out of tabs in my brain.
Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that.
So I wrote about the LGBTQIA themes and how really there's not any, but there is one relationship style that is highlighted in the episode with David's dad.
Yes.
And they portray his dad as an older man. He has David, who's in his early 40s, late 30s.
30s. I was going to say 30s because I think his father's in his 60s.
Right. Fine. Okay. So that age gap works. But
Right.
then you go to meet the dad as a character, and he's like, oh, here's my new wife. Like, I think it's third wife or something like that. And she's pregnant.
Yes.
At 6 months. And then
longer than that? Did
she said 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it actually makes a difference because she gives birth later, and I'm like, how'd that work? Anyway,
Right, that's why I was asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah. Anyway, so again, artistic license, I guess. I don't know. That's one of those questions that doesn't get answered. Just gets left hanging as a cliffhanger.
I'm not sure that ever gets answered. I'm gonna be honest.
Awesome. So anyway, yeah, she's all like bubbly and younger.
Esther.
Yeah, Esther is younger. And then there's
I don't was she younger? I would say she was in her 30s. I mean, younger than him.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
she's not like a 20-something-year-old.
No. She's in her 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she has a partner.
She does.
And they're all over each other, and they claim to be a throuple.
Yeah.
So that's the only LGBT representation that
I can't remember Esther's partner's name.
It's short. I can't remember it either. I remember her face. Anyway, so I found it interesting, and that they use poly as a way to represent, number one. Number two, I wrote that the throuple is hard to conceptualize because I can't figure out if this is a coerced arrangement because of the supernatural angle, or if this is a fully informed one.
Well, that's the thing. You're not supposed to. And
obviously, there's consent.
As the episode goes on, at the very beginning, you're thinking it is coerced. By the end of the episode, you're not quite sure.
Right.
Because he has adopted that symbol, the sigil.
Right.
So, and they themselves have adopted that sigil.
Right.
So you're less sure. But at the very beginning, you're like, oh, he's wrapped up in something. But the father is.
Right.
David's father.
Right.
When you find out, not so much.
Yeah, that's why I can't figure it out. So I don't know if I should take this as an offense or not. So
I don't think you should.
Yeah, it's just part of the plot. It's part of the imaginations.
And I'm not sure
so
it being a poly couple was supposed to be portrayed as the problem, if that makes sense. I don't, if that makes sense. I'm not saying the poly couple is a problem.
I think no. Yeah.
And they don't portray it that way. It's just more of this is what he's doing.
I think it's to complicate the battle with David.
Yes.
It's internal battle, it's a personal thing because he's part of the Catholic Church and that's not something you do. And it's only heteronormative through there, and you just don't do that. That's also, you don't marry.
And Kristen had no issue with it.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Because she's not. I mean, she's
not personally connected either.
No.
And David was trying to hold back his tongue. You can obviously see that, oh my God, I'm gonna have a sibling at at this age, and
that part is a little bite your tongue situation. That part makes sense. For
that
being
whole
annoying.
episode was an interesting episode, I'll just say, because they ended up drinking stuff that they didn't know what was in it.
Had basically magic mushrooms in it. Mm-hmm. So they got real high.
So yeah, it just found it interesting. And the only other LGBT leaning, I guess would be the way to say this, is I think it was in one of the later, I think it was maybe the last episode when Ben and David go to the fertility clinic.
Yeah, it is.
They don't correct the lady. The lady assumes that they're a couple.
Yep.
Looking for a baby. So, or looking to have a baby. So they're not looking for a baby.
They're not on the hunt for a baby. No. That's not how that works.
Kidnap a baby. No. It's a fertility clinic. They can't do that anyway.
No.
Hand over your zygote, man.
Right? Give me the zygote. That's not how that works.
No, that's not how that works. But she assumed that they were a couple, and she kept trying to get them to join a dad's group or something.
Yes.
And it's implied. It's not really
well,
stated.
and they use that implication to get more information.
They do.
Because they say, oh, we were recommended by the Farrells.
Right.
Which was one of their clients, and then mention a few other names, and they're all connected. Yeah.
I do like that Ben and David had no problem slipping into that role.
Right.
There was no discrimination there.
No.
So,
yeah. Ben has no problem with that.
yeah, I would imagine not.
No.
He's his own brain gets a little bit more expansive as time goes on.
I just thought of a female character we haven't talked about.
Oh my God, Vanessa.
Vanessa. She comes up in 2 episodes and she reappears.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
So Vanessa she works on a ghost show.
She does, a ghost hunting show.
She works on a ghost hunting show. She got into Twitter war with Ben and then invited Ben to be on said show.
And then he blew that apart because he was saying, no, this is how this works and this is how this works. And
he did
basically pulled the curtain behind the wizard.
He did what he was supposed to do.
He did.
He
and then they tried to cover it.
And then they tried to cover it up, yeah. And then then they're doing, the second episode is when they're having to do the ADR,
right.
Which if you don't know what ADR is, I have a whole write-up on it. But ADR is automatic dialogue replacement.
Ah, okay.
The whole goal is for the actor to not only recreate their performance, but also to time their lip movements with what they're saying.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Sounds so difficult.
To get near perfect. Yeah. It's just so they can get clear audio. Normally it's because there's too much noise. It happens a lot when they're doing outside work, is that you have to go indoors, go to do ADR for it. A lot of actors don't like doing it. I'm not surprised.
Imagine not. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it either.
Having to recreate a performance.
Oh, and match your lip read? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why they have the huge screen, and then he's trying to read what they rewrote for him to make it shorter, and then also try to match his lip movements. Yeah.
And he's green. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Right.
This is
his
wheelhouse.
First TV appearance. Yeah. So anyway, that's what ADR is. That's what he's doing. That's what Vanessa goes in to do as well. And then Vanessa, it cleans all that up and deletes it all.
She does, because she claims racial discrimination.
Again,
yeah.
This is not the first time.
I like how she sort of acts like a kid after deleting it. She's like, let's go.
Let's go.
Run. run.
It was very cute.
It was very cute. Yeah. But I like it. What brought me to that was that his brain is being expanded in how to conceptualize reality, whatever that means, right? Whatever reality means to people in general and what it means to him.
Right.
When she explains, she thinks she has her twin sister, or she believes, I should say, her twin sister grafted to her, which I'm not sure what that means.
Well, and I don't even...
In a
was
supernatural
it her twin?
way?
I thought it was just her sister. Her younger sister, or her sister.
No, she said twin. I'm pretty sure she said twin.
Okay. Well,
anyway,
have to double check. But
yeah.
The audience can double check for us by watching it.
Right.
Thank you.
Anyway, so, yeah, and he was just having a hard time. I don't know why he was having such a hard time wrapping his head around this. I don't know. Maybe it was because it was butted up against him liking her.
Right.
And wanting, and like the desire and expectation of her being quote unquote normal.
Yes.
Whatever that means either.
Right.
So, yeah.
And that's when he calls David, and David just responds with, "The world is weird."
Yeah, I had that as a quote.
The world is weird.
Because I'm like, dang, that's so true.
It really is. It really is.
And what happens is social constructs destroy the idea that world is weird.
Yes.
But if you watch nature shows, if you listen to philosophers, if you listen to astronomers, like any of these types of fields, science, it will all tell you the world is fucking weird.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. But your social constructs tell you, oh no, we can't
weird
be touching
is
that.
not normal.
Weird is something to be feared. Yeah.
Even though that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Oh,
I have one. I have one more thing for the feminist perspective if you want it.
I think I have one more thing too, actually.
It might be the same thing.
It might be.
The whole Sebastian manosphere situation. I know.
I wasn't surprised, let me just say.
No, and we do have to touch on it. I don't know if you caught, but Sebastian was the one.
He's the hacker.
Yeah, from the third episode with the Broadway dude. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Same guy.
Yeah. He was already primed because he
Yes.
was already doing that, right? Yeah. And then Dr. Townsend was like, "Ooh, we should tap into that."
Mm-hmm.
And then he got so mad.
Oh, he was so pissed. He flipped his desk. One thing about Leland's office, did you notice that the painting behind him is David's father's?
Yes. Yeah. I caught on to that. Mm-hmm. It's also sparsely decorated.
It is. It's very blank in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the whole manosphere thing, that's a real thing.
It is a real thing. I actually had a conversation with
and
a
it
friend
is
of
a
mine about
real
this.
evil that we deal with on a regular basis.
Yeah, some new terms have come along in the current state of things, and I'll go ahead and educate the public about this. But there are words that you put together, and it's amosexual incel.
What? What is that?
So it's where you have an attraction to guns, specifically, and the destruction of feminism, basically, through the incel groups. Yeah.
So it's like is it a sexual attraction or just attraction in general? Or
both? I think it might actually lean into the sexual attraction because...
Interesting.
Yeah. They are not getting sex from women because they can't bridge the relationship with language and feelings and that kind of thing. They also think that they shouldn't have to do that.
Right. They have no emotional intelligence.
Or maturity.
Or maturity, yes.
Yeah. So also they're being fed this social construct that women are to be used as products or possessions or property. They're not people. They're not humans. So, yeah.
Manosphere. It's not a fun place to dive into. There are a few journalists who do. We will not be those.
Right? Y'all can look that stuff up yourselves.
Correct. I will mention a few terms in my trivia later that do come up because they are popular in the manosphere.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yeah. His storyline makes me sad.
He gives me the creeps.
He gets caught in a web. Because he was on the cusp, right?
Yeah, he was on the
Leland
cusp.
caught him, Dr. Townsend caught him on...
Yeah, which is why he caught him when he did.
Yeah.
But he was already primed.
He was already primed, yeah.
Because of that comment he made to the barista.
Yes.
Because he said to the barista when she denied him going out with him, he said, "Why are you so nice to me, but you don't want to go out with me?" She expertly handled this and just moved on to the next customer.
Right.
She was so good at that, but that means she's dealt with this many times before.
Right. When you face the public.
Poor thing.
I mean...
I feel bad for her.
Women face this every day.
I know. I feel bad for her. I feel less bad for him. Sorry.
I mean, I can extend my compassion to both.
I have some compassion. I feel sorry he got caught in Leland's web.
Yes.
I can feel sorry about that.
Yes.
I still didn't like him at the beginning, so.
Well, and we see how primed he is because he actually takes the statement that you were saying there about how can you be so nice to me? He misconstrues kindness, which I have a quote based on this. He misconstrues kindness for liking him in a certain way, or that he was special to her and all of this stuff.
Paid attention to how she interacts with everyone else, he would know he's not special. Because
to her.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is he's lost also being special to self, right?
Right.
Yeah, he's lost his tethering to self. He's seeking outside validation, which you're always going to be disappointed with outside validation. So one interesting quote that Dr. Townsend has, or Leland has.
Leland has a lot of interesting quotes. I have a lot of his quotes because he's very witty.
Is one of them is, kindness is hypocrisy.
Yes.
I was actually, when I thought about it, like sat down and actually thought about the concept of that, he's right.
Yes.
it is.
You're right. Kindness is, yeah.
Yeah.
He is right. He's completely right.
So I was thinking, well, how is that possible? Well, it's possible because kindness can be used, much like any other emotion, to entrap somebody.
Yep.
Right? You can be kind, and especially with domestic abuse situations.
Yep.
And narcissists, right? They love bomb you. They're kind to you. They pull out the punches. So yeah, kindness is hypocrisy is actually a true statement when you use kindness or any other emotion to entrap someone else's involvement, right? So the barista, right? We can go up to a barista and just shout. So Southern social constructs here in the U.S.,
Right.
The whole quintessential kill them with kindness kind of situation, right? Where we use our hospitality and we shower in the gifts and the compliments and things like that. And the whole, it's all just awfully syrupy.
Yes, it's very syrupy. You're right. That's the
syrupy and saccharine, and it's not true. None of it's true.
Right.
We use it to get what we need. We use it to falsely identify with somebody,
Right.
And it's not sincere for most part.
Right.
These days. So, or at least my experience of it. So yes, he's right. Kindness is hypocrisy when it's used in that way. So, yeah.
Leland has a lot of quotes. Sheryl has a lot of good quotes too. She says, "I don't need a boy to be happy," even though she has a boy and she's happy.
I have some comments about that. Because she doesn't. The thing is, she has cognitive dissonance.
She's also very critical of Andy.
I mean, we don't know where their history is really, and he's gone.
Well, and when Andy does appear, there is tension of not really liking each other ever.
Right.
Sheryl does. Kristen says, "Don't poison them against their father." Sheryl says, "I don't have to, honey. He's doing it all by himself." So there's some great quotes in this whole series. One of my favorites was when David says, "I have to go do some priesting," and then just walks out. Just trying to leave. Doesn't matter.
That's funny.
Gonna go priest something. I don't know. Like priest is a verb.
Right? That's funny.
Okay. Anything else before we move on to the trivia?
Yeah, I had one more thing because I had this question pop up in my head.
Okay.
Why is David, who's a seminarian, third year, right, in his seminary school, a black man,
Yes.
serving white leaders in this show? Where are the black leaders? Where's any other?
There's not a lot of black leaders in the church. That's the point.
Okay, but then
It comes up.
Oh, does it come up? Okay, because we don't get any kind of explanation as to
It comes up.
why he is in this position and why he's serving these white men, because it really has a bad spin on it if you really let your mind go there.
Well, because the Catholic Church does not have that many black people in it, in their leadership
Yeah.
to begin with.
Yeah. Okay.
And it comes up several times.
I'm glad it's
especially
addressed at
in
least.
the next season, I think.
Okay.
So
I just wanted to point that out.
you're right. You're completely right.
Yeah.
Of the leaders that he does have,
Especially in this season.
well, and who he will have again, there's very, very few black leaders in the Catholic Church. That's
Right.
the simple answer of it.
I mean, that makes sense. It just, they didn't choose at least one other leader.
The point is that.
Okay. Again, back to social tropes and things that are being explored. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all heavily leaned on for this particular
Well,
season.
and they talk about race multiple times in this.
They do.
With the
Yeah, there's all kind of
hospital,
things.
with
slavery. Yeah, it all
slavery.
comes up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They don't hide away from it. It's just explored. Social
Right.
tropes are explored.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That was the only other one I had.
Okay. Are we ready for some trivia?
Yes, I have philosophical questions to ask. So I don't know where you want to stick those.
All right, let's do the philosophical questions before we end on trivia.
So one of the questions that came to mind for me was, how is fear used in the TV show?
Used in this TV show?
This TV show.
I'll respond with a question. What do you mean by that?
I mean, so the show is called Evil.
Yes.
Which brings its own connotations before you even get started.
Right.
On the show. So it implies you walk into watching the show and observing the show with fear already in place.
Well, so one thing that this show, this probably won't answer your question, but the one thing this show wanted to highlight was the evils that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, like the manosphere, like hospitals not taking care of their Black patients as well as their white patients. These are things that actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that this show wanted to highlight was the everyday evils that we deal with and have to fight against.
Okay.
So the fear is of life, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And showing that evil is something that should be fought against, and even if you are fearful, should overcome that fear to fight the evil, whatever that evil may be for your day.
Okay. Now I have questions.
Great.
Told you this is philosophical.
Well, yeah.
First of all, how do you define evil? That's open-ended.
Well, and that is a question, right?
Yeah.
And every person has a different definition.
Right.
And that's what this show explores.
So academically, if we pull just the definition of evil and rhetorically and academically,
Sure.
evil is actually a word from religious texts. It's
Correct.
from a religious background. So it already has a social construct behind the word itself.
Correct.
So there's that. So for most people, when they define evil, they define it based on their social construct that they know and experience.
Normally with some kind of religious aspect.
Yes.
Especially here in the U.S.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that. If we take away the religion and we're left with just things that we have to experience, microaggressions, aggression in period, even high assertiveness can come across as evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are we to fear that and overcome it? Or are we to take our fear with us and use that as a tool? Like, there's a lot to this that can be ironed out or to at least explored, right?
Yeah, and you could do a whole deep dive show on this.
Totally. Yeah, I didn't want to get too far into it. I just wanted to kind of like broach these subjects because this is what I was thinking about when I was.
These are the things, audience, you can decide on your own, figure it out. And if you would like for us specifically to deep dive evil again,
right,
and we can go episode by episode, we can. You have to tell us though,
right? Yeah, because I'm not going to get too far into it. But I just wanted to kind of point out too an education piece of this, a psychoeducation a little bit, that fear is an emotion.
Yes,
it's okay to have that emotion.
Correct.
It's okay to have multiple emotions at once, including fear.
Mm-hmm. Anxiety.
Right. All of it at once, right? Mm-hmm. It is based on your primal instincts. So when your body produces fear, right, it's telling you something.
Right.
And it's asking for you to respond to that, however that is. Now, there are perceived fears, right? Mm-hmm. Much like the show tries to implement, right? We're supposed to be afraid of a spider with a baby face on it. Are we? Right. Question mark.
So, and that, let me talk about those goggles for a minute, because we haven't really touched on that. That is augmented reality,
right?
Not VR, virtual reality. It's AR. Augmented reality uses your environment and puts virtual things into your environment using the goggles.
Right.
VR creates a whole new environment, like you're in the wilderness or you're on the Beat Saber stage, whatever.
Right.
To create the experience
around that. Yeah.
Augmented reality uses your reality and puts things in there, which is why it said open the door.
Right.
Those kind of things.
Right. It uses
and it would be different for everybody because of the environment that you're in.
Right. It's really cool, actually. I love technology.
As far as I'm aware, that kind of goggles are not they don't exist like that.
Oh, really?
For augmented reality, no.
Okay.
It's very difficult to do.
Well, I wonder.
And also, there's a lot of security concerns.
No. That wasn't pointed out in the show at all.
Security concerns. I was screaming about all the security concerns.
Right.
This is why I like Ben, because he brings up all of the security concerns. You know where everything is in my house?
Right.
I have a problem with my Roomba having a camera. There's a reason I don't have one of those.
It's so funny. So fear is already implied. Like you have the word evil as the title. So it's already bringing you in knowing that, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's reviews like ours or interviews that they do with the cast members and things like that that can help you sort of orient around that word and around the concept of the show. So you already have a sense of that, knowing going into it. And then fear is used in the show, right, to like alter your perception in a way, right? It's to push you one way or the other. And I thought that was really interesting that they would do that with different characters. So, you know, Kristen being in bed with George.
With George, yes.
Who has infiltrated her room.
He's infiltrated her dreams.
Yeah. So he likes fear, right? He wants to use fear against you. And she's like, you know, I don't know if I give into that.
No, and she doesn't.
Not really. She does a little bit, right? She does sort of.
Well, especially when it first happens.
Right. But then she starts to grow accustomed to utilizing her own emotional regulation, right?
Right.
She can take fear with her and use it as a power to go, what? No, we're not doing this right now. I don't have time for you. Why are you even here? What do you want?
What do you want?
Yeah. So, yeah, I love that sort of conversation that they have with the emotion of fear through the storyline. So anyway, I just bring that up. I have a bunch of stuff written on it, but it's okay.
We don't have time.
No.
This is not a psychology.
Right?
Philosophy.
Anyone else want to talk about this? Invite me on. Show. Okay, I have another question. This is the last question, the philosophical question. Does this show examine or explore a true examination of between good and evil? And I put those in quotes. What the fuck is good and what is evil, right? And we're back to defining what those are. And this is personal. It's not going to be something that you and I can talk about and get to the bottom of. But it made me think about those things.
Well, and I think that's part of the point of the show is to make you think.
Yeah.
Think about what you're doing. Think about what good you are putting into the world, what bad you are putting into the world, whatever that may be for you.
Yep.
And how you're going to deal. And then what you are paying for, whether it be the goggles or the smart home devices. All of it could be used for evil too.
True.
But they also provide some good to some people.
It's the same with relationships. So I use Sheryl as an example. She has this cognitive dissonance about saying one thing, but then doing something else. And it's throughout her whole performance. She doesn't really land on a truth there. She sort of swims between the two.
Yes. And I will say Sheryl does return. And she has interesting developments.
Okay.
And that's as much as I'm going to say.
Okay. I know that she struggles with that cognitive dissonance, though, and which way to go. She doesn't have a sense of tethering to her own sense of good and evil, whatever that is. And I have personal thoughts on that. But, you know, I used the example of her free will to give in to her sexual desire, because I was like, oh yeah, women empowerment, go for it, chick, get it, right? And then she pays for it, though. There's a price to pay for her being in a relationship with Dr. Townsend, and that comes later, obviously.
Yes.
But the thing is that humans can't predict the future, and sometimes we make bad decisions.
Yes.
Based on what we already know, and this may be one of them. And it does turn out that the relationships with her daughter and her granddaughters is her payment.
Right. Okay.
So anyway,
All right.
I went there with the philosophy.
You did.
Philosophy. Sorry.
Before we get into my trivia, I do have one question for you. So you mentioned yesterday that the show is becoming a little bit predictable.
Mm-hmm.
So would you like to predict some of the things that are going to come on in the next 3 seasons?
Oh my gosh.
Since you haven't seen it, I will give you no information. I'm going to sit and listen. If you don't want to, we don't have to.
Oh, no, I have to think about it because, I'm autistic. I have to process. You have to give me time. Take a drink of water.
No.
Go to the bathroom. Do something. I think that the whole, sort of subplot of David and Kristen doesn't go anywhere. I think that possibly Kristen and her husband's relationship develops further and he tries to be a better dad. It's possible that her mom does open her eyes to the entrapment she's in, possibly. It's also possible it could go the other way. She's still entranced by the charm. So I'm interested in that kind of development there.
Mm-hmm.
The overarching sort of good versus evil battle, that kind of thing. I think that won't ever get resolved. I think this is something that will be continued to be explored, not only with this show, but other shows.
Okay.
Will Leland be, quote unquote, defeated? Possibly. I don't know. This is such a retold story. It's kind of hard to say exactly.
Okay.
And the reason it was predictable is because I think my age, I've lived through most of these tropes. I'm not a person of color, so I don't have that backing, but I can empathize with that kind of thing because I have been discriminated against for many different reasons. So I have experienced discrimination, just not based on my skin color. So I think that the tropes just sort of give it a support system, a scaffolding to not get the answers. It's just going to tell a story, is all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you anything. Audience, you can go watch all 4 seasons and find out if she's right. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, I don't know that David ever really gets the answers he's looking for either.
I want to say you're 25% correct.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty low.
Well, thanks for that.
Just saying. You're the one who said it was predictable, and I'm like,
because it's the social basing, but it could be the scaffolding that's needed for the story to actually develop too. Mm-hmm. Now, if someone told me, because this really, there's 2 shows that came up for the type of meandering it does and the plots that are coming up. One is Charmed. The whole overarching, there's several different types of demon factions, and they're led by the one main demon dude. And
the only thing is that evil has lore and then doesn't stray from said lore. Charmed used lore and then changed it as needed for the story.
Okay. I just, the sort of...
They have so many inconsistencies in Charmed. It's still a lovely show. I still love it. That is not the point. It is just very inconsistent.
Well, and I think that's part of Evil's, the show. I'm part of that predictability is there's so much structure to tether you to the story and the plot.
Okay.
Maybe I'm seeking more of the other kind, the meandering. I don't know. Maybe that's something it was a personal attraction to shows. I have no idea. It's not something I ever explored.
Okay. What was the other show?
Lost, weirdly, because...
I haven't seen Lost.
Michael Emerson was in that. He also played a similar character, I will say. And when he sort of toggles between the two, I'm a kind person, I'm going to do good things for you, and also there's a payment for that. That kind of person. And Lost also has these sort of subplotty things that you're like, what the fuck is that? Where'd that come from? And all these weird sounds and stuff like that. So there's a lot of duality in the two and how they're conducted. So those are the 2 shows that came to mind. I was like, oh, this kind of feels like Lost, where you're really lost on the plot. And you're like, I have to watch the next episode so I can see what's happening. Yeah. Yeah, the 2 shows.
I just thought I would ask because you mentioned it was predictable, so I wanted to see what you were predicting.
Feels predictable because of where we are in the timeline of history right now.
Well, and you do have to remember this did come out in 2019, right before the pandemic. Yeah. So our world has changed a lot since the pandemic.
Yes,
and
just in the 6 years since then.
Yes.
Or 5
and
years. Yeah.
This show did end in 2024.
Yeah.
Not 2014, 2024.
Because we went backwards in time.
Oh, yeah, because it goes backwards, didn't you know?
That would be great. Hey, somebody write that.
Right?
I'll watch that.
We'll watch it from the end to the beginning.
Hey, there are people that read the books that way. I am one of them. Okay.
Okay. Are we okay with moving into trivia now?
Yes, I have one trivia thing.
Okay. I would like to start with my first trivia piece, and then we can do yours and then the rest of mine.
Okay.
Okay. So my first trivia piece is about the show itself.
Okay.
So throughout the first season, and it only happened in the first season, partially because it was CBS, and I think the creators wanted to add something fun to do with the show itself.
Mm-hmm.
There are hidden puzzle pieces throughout the whole season when you're watching it.
Like actual pieces?
Yes. Well, they're not actual, like, what the actors could grab. They're in the shot, and if you see a flash of white, that was a puzzle piece. And if you stop at the right time, you can get the puzzle piece.
Okay.
And it creates a puzzle. There are people who have found the whole thing, and it creates a map, and there's a bunch to it. It's a whole extra thing if you really want to dive into it. It was part of more marketing stuff, I think.
Interactive.
Yeah, interactive stuff to keep people interested.
Sounds very 2019.
Well, it played out well with the pandemic coming up because...
I was going to say, see...
oh, darn, now we have to spend all our time looking for puzzle pieces in a show.
Especially in America, historically, think about who was coming of age during that time,
Mm-hmm.
what we were going through politically and socially.
Right. It just so happened that this landed at the time of the pandemic. Obviously, they didn't plan that.
The sort of, I don't want to say peak, but shifting of social media. Mm-hmm. So this makes sense that there would be an interactive piece to a show like this.
Yes. However, there, as far as I'm aware, there's not much to it besides creating the puzzle. But I haven't tried it myself. I just know that it's there.
I have no interest in it, so I'm sure it's for the youngers.
Probably. But it's only in the first season. There are several pieces throughout every episode except the pilot. So if that interests you, they are in a single frame of specific episodes. Some people have them written down. You can find guides and stuff like that to see all the pieces. I believe there's also a tool that somebody created.
Oh my gosh.
So that you can actually put the puzzle together yourself online. Wow. I believe it relates to a map of Manhattan, but I might not be right on that. So
okay.
But it's a cool trivia piece I wanted to mention.
That is neat. I like that.
Right. So if you ever see a flash of white in the first season,
I remember seeing something like that, and I was like, "What the fuck was
that's
that?"
what that was.
Yeah.
Some places it's really obvious, and then others it's not so much.
I think I got to a point where I ignored it.
Yeah.
Because I was too busy thinking of the philosophical parts of it. Yeesh.
I mean, it's in one frame. It's in one frame of a whole thing. Your eye can't catch it. It's just like, what was that? You have to go back and pause it at the right time to actually see the puzzle
And
piece.
this show is all about paranormal. So if you're like seeing flash, I mean, it makes sense that the videography would imply that there's more to it. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense. Okay. So that's cool. I like it being interactive. That's neat.
Right.
Do you want my trivia?
Give me your trivia.
So I didn't know
my trivia.
I didn't know what a codex is.
Okay. I
grew up in southern the United States with a different kind of church.
Right.
And so I had no idea what codex is. So I looked it up.
Okay.
So I was like, what the heck? But so a codex is a historical ancestor format of the modern book. Mm-hmm. Technically, the vast majority of modern books use a codex formatting of stacked pages bound at one edge along the side of the text, right? Mm-hmm. But the term codex is now reserved for older manuscript books, which mostly use sheets of vellum, parchment, or papyrus rather than paper. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of a OG word for books, basically.
Yes. Speaking of codexes, the Vatican does have several codexes of different documents and different things like that. Mm-hmm. The Pavalia Codex is not real. The one that
they use in the TV.
Yeah. The one that they mention is not real. It is mentioned in Supernatural as well.
Oh, I imagine. Yeah, it seems
it's a created document.
This seems to me a way to formulate and examine theories,
right? Without fully pissing off the Catholic Church? Yeah.
And possibly to deepen conspiracy, let's say, or imaginations or imaginings of things. Again, we're on that cusp of what's truth, what's not truth, right. And how do you define that? I'm not going to get there, but
in this case, in the real world, this actual codex does not exist. It was fictionally created for evil. To create the 60 and to do all of that. That was all fiction.
That's cool. The art department or the set department, whoever made
prop
that.
Department.
The prop department did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was so totally interested in all looking at that stuff.
Okay, I have a ton of trivia.
Uh-oh.
Because they say a bunch of random things, and I randomly will catch them and put them in. So there's a lot. And some things I've already skipped. So... It's going to be a minute.
My goodness.
Work with me here. Just expect it's going to be a minute of you listening to my voice.
I mean, unless I interject with what?
So, in episode 1, Kristen mentions Occam's razor.
Yep.
So, it's a philosophical razor that advocates that when presented with competing hypotheses about the same prediction and both hypotheses have equal explanatory power, one should prefer the hypothesis that requires the least assumptions, the fewest assumptions, the least amount of assumptions. Mm-hmm. So, and it's a way of picking between the two, basically.
That's the crux of this show.
Yes. Which is why she says that.
Yeah, of course.
It's like the first scene
this whole show is an examination of Occam's razor.
Yep.
Yeah.
She also mentions in episode 1 MMPI2.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory. It's the second one. The third one came out in 2020. It is 567 true or false questions, and it's a bunch of work. And it's used in a bunch of different things, not just court proceedings, but also like job interviews and things like that. So, also in episode 1, Kristen was reading a book to her daughters. Do you know what the book was?
No.
The Princess Bride.
Was it really?
It was.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Aw.
It was The Princess Bride.
Gosh, that's another movie, though. That's another script, right? That sort of rides that line of what's good, what's not good, right? How do you define that? How do you define that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and decide that.
Yep.
For yourself. Interesting.
Right. So Kristen mentions climbing the nose. The nose is a big wall climbing route on El Capitan. El Capitan is a vertical rock formation in Yosemite National Park.
Oh.
It's used to be thought that it was impossible to climb it. Now it's a regular route.
Humans will do anything.
Yes, they will. A one-party state. Do you know what that means?
Yes, we are a one-party state. Well, we live in a one-party state.
We do live in a one-party state, which will not tell you much.
No.
So what that means is the laws in the U.S. vary state by state, and it's for recording voice communication of any kind, whether it's a phone call or a live conversation. And what it means for one party state means one party has to be aware of the recording. Right. two-party states, both people have to be, or all parties have to be aware of the recording. And each law can vary from electronic to live. It could be different in the same state. It can also be different if the conversation is in public or private. Yeah.
When you say aware, do you mean consent to the conversation?
They have to be fully consent to being recorded.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure.
Yes.
Because awareness is different than consent.
Well, and again, each law is different. So it may be that they don't have to consent. They just have to be aware.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Every law is different.
I just assume I'm being recorded everywhere.
Well, you're being recorded now. Are you aware of that?
But tis.
Some general two-party states are California, Connecticut, Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, Montana, New Hampshire, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Washington.
Are there any two-party countries?
I was only looking at the U.S.
You only look at the U.S. Okay.
I was only looking at the U.S. because it varies state by state here, and this show was set in the States. So.
True.
In episode 4, Ocker 7 comic is mentioned. That's not real, but it sounds really cool.
Yeah, it does.
It was the immortal children playing hide and seek through time.
Right? That does sound really cool. Somebody make that.
Somebody go make that. Because somebody asked on...
Maybe we can get the Keens to make that.
Thank you, Reddit, for telling me, because
right.
Somebody else asked, and there was a bunch of other people who were like, I'm glad I'm not the only one looking for this. In episode 5, Flo and Joan are mentioned. It's a band that Sheryl talks about, and she plays a song about the bees.
Yeah.
That's a real song, and it is Flo and Joan are a real band. They're a comedy music act from England.
I was going to say, are they a folk band or a comedy band? I got that. Mm-hmm.
From Britain. I can't say exactly where. It says English here, but I've seen British and a bunch of different things, so I'm not sure exactly where they are in the UK.
Okay.
It's from the band consists of Rosie Dempsey and Nicola Dempsey. They're sisters. And they got their names from their grandmother and her sister.
Oh.
Flo and Joan.
Okay.
So in episode 6, the re-education camps in China were talked about because it was a worry for Grace.
Yes. Yeah.
That is a real thing. I'm not going to dive too deeply into that. It became really popular in the news when talking about the Uyghurs. It's a Muslim group in the outskirts of China, near the Middle East side. They live in China, and they were being sent to these camps. The reports from these camps are awful, and it's
I assume so. The way the line was delivered. Yeah.
Yes, and it's for anybody religious, really. And it's not just religion.
Oh,
it's also,
because they think she's a prophet. That's where she was sent.
Yes, for re-education.
Wow. Okay.
They were worried she was sent there.
Yeah,
but they can't get any information from
which also makes sense.
Party.
Yep.
Also in episode 6, Leland brings Sheryl salamander brandy.
Oh my God, I thought I was going to get...
Okay, so don't panic. It's not that. Don't panic. It's not that.
My poor heart was like, no, not the salamanders.
It's not actually salamanders. It's a Slovenian traditional medicinal alcohol drink.
Okay.
But it has hallucinogenic and aphrodisiac properties.
Okay.
Apparently, it gets you high as fuck.
Okay. Wow. All right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
In episode 7, Mira asks Kristen if she's fleabagging.
Yes.
Which is a direct reference to Fleabag.
Yep.
In which she falls in love with a priest. The main character falls in love with a priest.
Oh, gosh.
Right? Episode 9, it's mentioned that David is reading Flannery O'Connor. Mm-hmm. And it seems so offhanded, like so random. Yeah. I was like, what? What is that? Why? So she was a Southern writer who wrote in a sardonic Southern Gothic style. She relied heavily on regional settings and grotesque characters, also often in violent situations. In her writing, an unsentimental acceptance or rejection of the limitations, imperfections, or differences of these characters typically underpins the drama.
Ooh.
Her writing often reflects her Catholic faith.
Mm-hmm.
And frequently examines the morality and the ethics.
Wow, that's okay.
Yeah.
That fits with the show.
It does. But that's why it seems so random and offhand. I was like, wait, why? Why is she mentioned? In episode 9, Leland mentions a red pill moment.
Yes, I had that. The color red shows up quite a bit.
Yes, it
in
does.
reference to After the Prophet. I had to go back and watch it all, but I think it
appears everywhere.
Yeah.
It really, you see it with Sheryl, because she's
definitely
consistently wearing red.
Especially after she sleeps with Leland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens several times. The color red appears a lot. But anyway, red pill moment in this case, it concerns the awakening of men to the supposed reality that men are the oppressed gender of in a society dominated by feminism. Manospherians, that's the word that was in the Wikipedia, believe that feminists and political correctness obscure this reality and that men are victims who must fight to protect themselves. This originally came from the Matrix movies, where Neo has to choose to stay oblivious to the real world, the blue pill, or see reality for what it really is, the red one. It has been twisted into this manosphere.
Oh my god, yeah, it has been twisted for sure.
Into this manosphere thing, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have comments on that, but I'm going to leave it.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Also in episode 9, DSM-5 was mentioned, which is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Health Disorders. It's just the guide that every therapist and everyone should use.
I mean, I have thoughts about that too. From a professional standpoint, but I won't go into that. It is a guide.
Well, yeah, of course. No guide is ever exact.
No. I mean, it's made by humans.
Right? Humans fuck up. Duh.
We're flawed.
Right?
Which means everything that comes from us is also flawed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway.
Moving on. In episode 10, the Tanzanian laughing epidemic of 1962 was mentioned.
Oh my god, yeah.
That was an actual thing.
It was an actual thing.
And I could go into it super deep.
There are podcasts on it, so you guys can
just
go look.
Listen up on those. I will say at the end, 1,000 people were affected and 14 schools had to close.
Yep.
Yeah, it's an actual thing. It did actually happen.
Did you catch the dancing plague as well?
That's the next one. The dancing plague of 15.
That also happened.
18. Yes, it also happened. There was also a few others that were documented before that.
Yep.
Again, whole documented thing.
It's some kind of psycho-hysteria thing, mass hysteria between humans. And
again,
she explains it really well on the show, so I didn't really...
There's a lot of people who theorize on a lot of different things.
I mean, we're not living in 1500s right now, so we can't really ask the people and interview them.
Right? The dancing plague affected at max 400 people. They danced for weeks. And if they didn't die of heart attacks, they fell over from exhaustion, thirst, or hunger.
Mm-hmm.
They were literally dancing while their feet bled.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you want to look all that up, that is a real thing. There are probably millions of podcasts on that, all the stuff. So have fun.
Yeah.
In episode 12, Kristen mentions not leaving the rice bowl out because of the birds.
Yeah.
So that's actually a myth.
Is it really?
It is. Birds can eat rice, cooked or uncooked. It may not be the best nutritionally, but it's not going to kill them.
Oh, interesting.
But it has completely affected the wedding industry.
Right?
One myth. I mean, it's fine. Just they don't need rice thrown at them anyway.
My goodness, I didn't know there was no truth to that.
Yeah, it's complete myth.
Science behind it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also in episode 12, the Hutu and the Tutsi.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was hard.
That is an actual thing that actually happened.
Yeah.
In 1994, Rwanda's population of about 7 million was composed of 3 ethnic groups: Hutu, about 85%, Tutsi, 14%, and the Twa, that was 1%. From April to July of 1994, 500,000 to about 1 million Tutsi and moderate Hutus were slaughtered when a Hutu extremist-led government launched a plan to murder the country's entire Tutsi minority.
So, genocide.
Yep.
My goodness.
And any others who oppose the government policies.
Oh, my goodness.
This came after a civil war that was officially ended with the signing of the Arusha Accords in August of 1993. While Hutu leaders signed the agreement, it angered the Hutu extremists, setting the stage for future violence. During this time, the extremists disseminated messages through the media telling fellow Hutus that Tutsis were planning a killing campaign against them. The radio, RTLM, a private Hutu-owned radio station, relentlessly condemned Tutsis and their supporters, characterizing them as subhuman and calling them cockroaches. In this climate, beginning in 1993, Hutu political leaders began to import large numbers of machetes and distributed weapons to militia that supported them.
Wow.
So it was all a real thing.
Wow. Makes me wonder how they did the audio for the radio show on the TV show, right? That actor probably had to record that. My goodness.
Yeah.
And the extremism killing people affected the woman who is now
living in America.
Yeah, living in America and abusing this guy. We're going to get too much into it, but she then becomes extremist herself.
Yep.
Because the trauma was so deep.
Mm-hmm. So this was a real thing that happened. Yep. In Rwanda.
I have further comments, but it's not.
No, it's not important
appropriate here, and that makes me sad. I'll just say that.
So the last thing I have is The Boys of Brazil. That's an actual movie, and Ben mentions it about the kids, about tainting the eggs, because the whole movie.
The movie
the whole movie is about creating Hitler clones.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
that's a real thing.
It's an actual movie. The movie came out in 1978.
Wow.
It's based off a novel of the same name. Yeah.
Huh.
It has Laurence Olivier and Gregory Peck in it.
I have never heard of this. Well, that makes sense, actually.
Right.
A shielded life. Wow. That would be something I'll be looking up for sure.
Yeah, it's based off of a novel of the same title by Ira Levin. Came out in 1976.
Okay.
But it's about clones of Hitler and trying to create the next regime, step of the regime, of the Nazi regime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's an actual thing, actual movie.
Again, I have further thoughts, but it's not appropriate here.
Not important.
This whole TV show could actually send me on my own podcast.
All on your own. Okay.
I could totally dismantle this whole show and make a whole new podcast stream on my own about it.
Like I said, we could do a rewatch podcast of just this alone if the fans want. I'm up for that. And we can deep dive into everything that they pop up. Again, I skipped some things. Some things you'll just have to figure it out.
Again, leaving some questions unanswered, right?
Sorry.
It's in keeping with the theme of the show. It's all right.
All right, I do have one quick question for you.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
No.
Didn't think so.
It creates a thinking that it keeps me from enjoying, if that makes any sense.
I'm not sure you're supposed to enjoy it. It's supposed
TV to for me is something I want to enjoy.
Fair.
And this show it brings up questions that make me think in ways that are like a documentary would, which is, that's excellent. And the fact that I think earlier you said something about it leaves you with more questions, as in really
it
not all of
answers
them
questions by opening more doors to questions.
Right. And art, the definition of art is that.
Yes.
And I can appreciate that. Do I like the show and enjoy it and have pleasure from it?
No,
not really. No. And also, there's a lot of trigger warnings.
There's a lot.
A lot of stuff with kids.
Yes.
Sounds. Imagery. Specifically, I actually had to go back and make sure, but there's harming of humans, especially self-harm, that is actually portrayed. So anyone who has a propensity for that or wants to stay away from that, please don't watch the show.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. The content is not worth it.
No.
Don't harm yourself in that way. You can leave it to us to just, have these commentaries, and anybody else has commentary about it. You don't need to watch it.
Well, and if you are somebody who just doesn't want to watch it, whether for any reason, mental health, religious, whatever, just listen to us.
Yeah, right.
I think we went over it enough.
I think the other part for me to not enjoy it, I was thinking about this earlier, is that I've deconstructed from religion and the heavy use of religion as a guide or construct of the show itself, especially season 1. I don't know if it stays with that, but in season 1, it's just not enjoyable to me. It's just not. That's a part of my past I don't want to revisit. So
well, and like I said, I don't think this is a show you're supposed to enjoy.
Yeah.
My problem with the show is not with the religious aspect or any of that, or even the horror part of it. It is literally the will they, won't they of Kristen and David. I do not give a shit about that.
Right? Yeah, that could have been left alone.
Right? It did not need that.
It needed a Scully Mulder moment of, we're not going to do this.
Yeah, it did not need that. It didn't need those two characters.
It doesn't need the tension between them. A sexual tension like that doesn't need that.
And unfortunately, if that bothers you, and it bothers you a lot, it does stick around, unfortunately.
I mean, that's how shows are sold these days.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate. It's my least favorite thing about this whole show. Like I said, Mike Coulter is a gorgeous man, but can we all stop lusting after David's character for a minute?
Yeah. I think he's just pretty to look at.
Like I said,
not something that comes to mind.
He's gorgeous, but that's not the point.
Right. Yeah.
His character is so much more than that.
Yeah.
And it's just...
I think Mike Coulter, too, plays characters that battle, right? They have an internal battle. And that's what attracts me to... It's to his choice of character.
Right.
And how he portrays that character, his craft.
Right.
And I've said that before about actors.
Right.
And actresses. And yeah, I just...
Also, the lack of Ben just pisses me off. I like Ben. Ben's my favorite character.
We need more Ben, actually. Weirdly, I think if we had a focus on Ben rather than and had that lens and had him as the central character, or a character like him where he's trying to debunk, I would like that more.
I would love to watch a show about him and his sister. I would watch that.
Yeah. Not going to happen, but yeah.
Oh, of course not, because she's a devout Muslim and he's not. And that will never happen on American TV.
Well, and there's clearly some stuff they need to work out.
Or discuss, but it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of that storyline just never goes anywhere.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, no.
I like her.
I can't deal with like, I need stories to complete.
Yeah, that's not this show. That's not this show.
Yeah, that
stories
seems like
will not complete.
That seems like a waste of time to me.
They will not complete them. They let the audience complete them.
Yeah,
in them for themselves.
It seems like this show is. There's two things about this show that I wanted to say before we get off today.
Okay.
One is there seems to be this brilliant idea to get a show to interact with its audience. Awesome. That's again art, right?
Right.
You want your art to interact with the audience that's witnessing that art, whatever that form of art is.
Right.
So that's awesome. That's brilliant. I love that. I love that the Kings did that. It's a smart idea, especially with TV. And if it went streaming, that's also really good because then you create more interaction, right? Through the internet, social media. And the other thing that I was thinking about was your question about whether or not David's experiences are actually real, right?
Yep.
And his whole thing. And when you were talking about another part, I can't remember exactly what you were saying, but it got me thinking, and I actually looked down and I saw the words augmented reality because as part of the trigger warnings, and I was like, oh my God, the whole thing is about augmented reality.
Yeah.
The whole show is about augmented reality. With it being an augmented reality, we will never get the answers because reality is to the beholder.
Exactly.
and how that's communicated. And this is what I was talking about earlier.
Which is how it's up to the audience to decide what's going on.
Right.
And what storylines happen and what storylines are important. And
I think that's part of it that I don't like it is I want I want a reality told in a way that is to tether me to the story.
That's fair.
And
the other thing is that sometimes some of the characters, their storylines, they're not important to the main ones.
And I'm an egalitarian, and I like all the stories.
Exactly.
I want them to be wrapped up in a nice, neat little package and be done. Yeah.
And normally I'm the one saying that, but that's normally about like 80s TV. Where's my neat little package? End somewhere. That's not just in the middle.
So if you like puzzles and like to be pulled around, you know, psychologically, this is a great show for you. But the visuals, I will tell you, I'm warning you now, there's a bunch of it. If you're susceptible or have any kind of past mental struggles with that stuff, don't watch this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not a show for everybody, but it is a great one for us to do for Halloween, which is why we did it.
Right. Yeah.
Aren't you glad I suggested it?
Yes. Yeah, I am. That part I enjoyed. I don't know that I'll finish the show.
That's okay.
Knowing what I know now. I mean, I wasn't going to plan on doing it before, but now that we've talked about it even more and I've gotten your side of things because I've never seen the show before.
I would say it is a worth the watch. If you are somebody who can stomach all of this, it is worth the watch.
Yeah.
To watch all of it through, to see how the story unfolds, because in this first season, the plan that you think is happening is not the plan that's actually happening.
I think that's part of it too, is that my real life, my reality,
right,
is augmented reality, right? I'm a therapist and I hear stories from all my clients and everything, and I take what they say as true because that's all I can do and base my insight and guidance on what they tell me. And that in itself is augmented reality.
It is.
So I live in this space.
You do.
And I think that's probably part of the problem is that felt more like work than it felt like enjoyment.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. So if it's not something you can stomach or if you don't want to deal with it, it's fine. But I will say it is worth the watch. It ends a little rushed because they got canceled. But it's not a bad ending.
Well, and I will say the acting is superb.
Yes.
The dialogue is superb.
Yes.
The visuals are superb if you can stomach what's happening.
Correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything is really good. Well, it never did connect with any character-ish.
They didn't put enough Ben in. That was the problem. There are several places where I put it. I was like, they needed more Ben. And that would have, I think, helped because Ben becomes my favorite as time goes on.
He's the most rooted in truth-ish. I hate to use the word truth. It's evidence.
Yeah, rooted in evidence. Yeah.
Show me the evidence and then I can get on board with it. So if you take the example with Vanessa saying she's got a grafted sister, show me your evidence. And I half expected to see a scar, actually. And they didn't give her one. And I was like, they should have given her a scar. Because that would have still rode the middle. Yeah. But it would have given more credence to her story. And I think that would have been better.
Well, there's more to her story.
Oh, all right. Well, whatever. Anyway, I just think that she needs a scar.
There's more to her story. Oh, yeah.
I probably won't ever go back to that.
Okay.
I didn't connect to any of the characters in a way that was.
There are a lot of feminist themes that do come up. You will probably see them. There is literally a glass ceiling at one point.
Oh, how funny.
Men are standing up it. Women are down below. It's very interesting.
Oh.
I'm not going to say any more about that.
No, I mean, that's a teaser for the next
that one's
installment.
I don't remember what season that's in.
Yeah, or installments, I guess.
Yeah, because we've got at least 3 more seasons to go for this.
Okay. Do you have anything else you'd like to say about evil?
No.
Okay. So I was going to mention if you are struggling with your mental health, be sure to give the National Alliance on Mental Illness hotline a call to get some resources for yourself. The number is 800-950-6264. Reach out.
Yep. And I will put it in the description as well.
Yep. So be kind to self.
Always.
Show compassion.
And have a happy Halloween.
Keep it spooky, people.
Ooh. Bye, everybody.
Bye.